Students, and welcome back to your class 2. And in this class 2 we will cover our unit number 2, that is your basic features of Constitution of India. We will see the silent features of Constitution of India, and we will also see the admin law, also here administrative law. During this whole video, this one short video of your unit number 2, which carries your 15 marks, as just as we did in our unit number 1, I taught you each and everything. I hope you have seen that video. Otherwise, you will find the video in your description box Excel. With this, there is a playlist for class 11th legal studies, and you can find your syllabus explained there and unit number 1. This is me, Advocate Harsh Shodrani, and we will start today with our I will just tell you what we are going to learn. We are going to learn the sovereign values, the remedial justice, and your administrative scope. We will demonstrate how, when Constitution was made, how it was made, the Government of India Act to your Constitution on 26 January 1950. We will see all the historical things in it. Plus, we will also cover some basic things, just as your writ part, your amendment part, each and everything that is there in your syllabus section. Everything will be completed. And lastly, we also have this administrative scope, where the difference between the Constitution law and your administrative law has been there. This is the second chapter of your unit number 2, and we'll cover each and everything. Don't worry, all your PPTs can be downloaded from the description box. Link is there. You can go to ADA 247 app and you can find this. Otherwise, you can just text me your email in the comment section, and I will send and the PPT of all the lectures that I have created for you. And let's start. The first thing is the meaning of Constitution. See, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. India has one of the largest written constitution in the whole world. It took us so much of time. The assembly was there, the cabinet was there. There were framers who have taken each and everything from all around the world. Fundamental rights are from some country. We will see fundamental duties. We will also see director principle of state policy in Constitution, and these things, the important things, have been borrowed from so many nations. Plus, also all these famous, the founding fathers of the Constitution of India, they said, they saw, and they made a supreme law of the land, and that supreme law of the land is known as your Constitution, and it is derived from the Latin word constituere. See, it literally means to set up or to ordain or to establish. Plus, if I talk about the living, or in legal literature, it is considered as the dynamic living document rather than a static set of rules. It is continuously evolves. Why I tell you this is कि in your Constitution you have amendment. See, Constitution is a building process. When we first made that particular draft till today, there have been so many amendments, and 106, the amendment number 106 in 2016, and then we are somewhere around 115 to 30, somewhere in between. So all these things, see, the constant setup, it is not a static part. As soon as we grow, as soon as we evolve, as soon as the time changes, our Constitution also changes with the needs of the society. You will see amendment in articles. The recent thing that was added in your article number 21 was to walk freely, walk on the footpath has been considered as your fundamental right. So step by step, each and everything, we also seen that yes, if a person is suffering, and they can have an excuse to die. Okay, yes, if the doctors have told yes ki there is no possible medical cure for this person, and dying, this let that person die is somewhere good, it's somewhere moral. This has also been made by the decision of the court has come that yes, after looking at so many things, the right to die also has been given to a particular person. If I move forward, if we see the definition of the constitution. A constitution stands as the apex of the legal hierarchy. That's why I tell you this is a supreme law of the land, and I have written here the supreme law of the land. Also, all legislative acts, executive decrees and local ordinance must strictly conform to these parameters. You will see in constitution, you start with your citizenship, you move to your fundamental rights, then your directive principle of state policy, then you move towards your fundamental duties, then you move towards the governor part, the president part. You see the judges thing, the appointment of judges, so on, so on, so on. You move one step, municipality, each and everything is there in your constitution. The ST, the SCs, everything, the amendments, emergency provision, lots of things that are there and that need to be there have been mentioned in your constitution part, and all these are the basic features of the constitution. See, basic feature and basic structure are two things. Basic structure is your preamble part, and there are something that comes under the basic structure, and that basic structure doctrine was first given by the Keshwanand Bharti versus the state of Kerala, which is the landmark judgment when it comes to the constitution of India. We'll get through them. You don't need to know all these things, but it's just that since constitution is the best thing, a ordinary person, either you are in class 12th or you are a law student or you are an ordinary citizen of India, you should be aware of supreme law of your land, because it tells you so many things that are for you. That's why we see in the preamble that we the people of India, it is us who has given the constitution of India, and that's why all things are there. See, constitutionalism, the principle that state power must be limited by the system of constitutional checks and balances to prevent absolute arbitrary rule. See, if we give someone authority, or if we give someone a command, that command should not be an arbitrary command. He cannot do what he wishes to do. That's why there is a checks and balances. That's why when in our unit number 1 we were talking about checks and balances, that yes, they have a separation of power, executive, judiciary, and we have seen legislator as a separation of power. But what needs to be done is your checks and balances, because these checks and balances are important. If I move ahead, see, this is the photo of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. You can see the Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar and the drafting committee of Constitution of India with all the other members. We can see Syed sir, we can see Ambedkar in the middle, we can also see all other peoples. This image was taken on August 29, 1947, and demanded the formally written of Indian National Congress 1939, and subsequently created in 1946 under the Cabinet Mission Plan, composed of indirectly elected provincial representative integrating legal expert, historians and statesmen representing all shades of diverse religious, linguistic and cultural background. So this committee, this formation was not just of any single particular thing. It was drafted, the committee was selected, the cabinet mission plan was such that it would include so much that is there in that was there at that particular time in the India, and that will be there. That's why we are seeing diverse religious, cultural background, all shades. We are seeing statements. We are also seeing person that are not representing anything. They are just historians, or they are somewhere related to the legal part, and all these were part of your constituent assembly. And if we talk about the timeline also, see, December 9, 1946 was the first session held by Dr. S. Sinha and act as a temporary president, and then we move to August 29, 1947, when the drafting committee appointed appointed under Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of Indian Constitution. November 26, 1949, Constitution drafted, and that constitution was adopted by the assembly. And remember these things, both these dates are different, both the dates will be asked in your exam, and you should know that on 26 January 1950 it was enacted, and on 26 November 1949 it was adopted. So adopted and enacted are two different things that you need to remember. If I move to another thing, that is your global adaptive benchmark, which I already told you. See, the framers borrowed so many things which was around the world, and that things were necessary so that a smooth functioning would have been there. That's why from UK, parliamentary form of government, which we have seen in our unit number 1, and also the rule of law. From USA we borrowed fundamental rights and judicial review. From Ireland we borrowed directive principle of state policy. That's why in the beginning I told you that yes, it took us time because we searched the things, we talked, there was a debate going over in that particular among that particular people. That was, the framers were thinking it very beyond the way they were looking, not just for that particular time period, they were looking for the futures. That's why whenever it comes to the framers of the Constitution of India, we tell that they were shaping the future of India. And all these adaptations from UK, whether it is a parliamentary form of government or your rule of law, till today this rule of law is been put in the Supreme Court, and till today we are trying to take things in this particular rule of law. USA fundamental rights, we borrowed judicial review, we have seen judicial review in our unit number 1. Then from Ireland, the directive principle of state policy, that is your chapter number 4. So all these things are there, and the borrowing was not a blind imitation. Dr. Ambedkar noted that borrowing was aimed at all known written constitution to tailor them specifically to meet the India challenges. That's why I tell you, they were thinking beyond, they were looking at the safe future. The bigger picture was there, and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar aimed at these things because he knew a written constitution needs to be perfect. It is just not for a limited period of time, it will for the infinity. And that's why all these things were borrowed, because these things were good. They searched all these things, fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, the rule of law given by Dicey. All these things were important, and that's why they were included in the Constitution of India. That's why it took us literally 2+ years, 2 years and somewhere months, 9 months ahead, we made this particular thing, and that's why this is the largest written constitution. Moving ahead, if I talk about the we have come to this, that it is the lengthiest constitution, originally comprised of 395 articles, 25 parts and 8 schedule. Today it has over 448 articles across 25 parts and 12 schedules. It addresses massive geographical and cultural diversity, clearly charts both central and state administrative safeguards, backward classes, municipality, judges appointment, so many things govern. We will see each and everything, president, prime minister over there, all things have been there in the Constitution of India. And it originally it was 395 articles, and till now we have 448 articles, schedules, parts, each and everything. If I move ahead, the most important part, the starting of the Indian Constitution, the whole and soul of the Indian Constitution, the preamble. The preamble is the key to open the mind of the makers, the soul and jewel of the Constitution. Pandit Thakur Das Bhargav, the Supreme Court commentary, you will see this, that yes, in the preamble is is whole and soul of the preamble, is known as the whole and soul of Indian constitution. That's why I quoted that the first line of preamble, that is, we the people of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into a secular, and all these things, these basic structure words, we have added things in preamble, but we have not never disturbed the basic structure. And the preamble is the foundation of our constitution of India. It gives you in a very short form, it gives you the broadest concept that has been written in those articles. And if I move to the see core concept pass, the initially we saw sovereign, socialist and secular. Socialist was added via amendment, and sovereign, that is absolute supreme independent authority, no external power. Then we also get during the 42nd amendment, aims to eliminate inequality, socialist. Then we have secular, state has no official religions, is treats each and every individual as same, with same respect, neutrality. If I also talk about fundamental rights, so your chapter now, there are two more things in these among these three words. You will after this the sovereign, the socialist and your secular, you will find two other words. And during the amendment part, all these things have been ended. See, justice, social, economic, political, you will see. When we talk about the preamble of India, I will just speak the preamble of India, that we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign. That's why sovereign is mentioned here. Socialist, then you have secular, we have mentioned secular here. You have democratic, republic, and to secure all to its citizens. Then you see justice, social, economic and political. In the next line you see liberty of thoughts, expression, faith, worship, equality of the status and opportunity, and to promote. Then you will see in a line, to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our constitution, the thing that I mentioned, that the date I mentioned, that in our constitution assembly, it is the 26th day of the November 1949, that we do hereby adopt, enact and give ourselves the constitution of India. See, when you will be a law student, and this particular preamble, you will be you have to memorize it, and it is not a task. You will love it, you will memorize it. And I just wanted to add all those the two words democratic, republic in it. But since we were talking about preamble and it is important, that's why I read the whole of the preamble. And the preamble of constitution, the people of India has adopted this thing, enacted, and it is given to themselves the constitution. See, so there was a case law in the Supreme Court of India. If I am not wrong, Charan Lal versus the Union of India, somewhere in 1990 there was the case. It was also properly known as the Bhopal gas leak tragedy, and in that it was mentioned that all these things, that yes, sovereign denotes the India, no subject, no external authority, and India as a state has the power to legislate any subject in the conformity of social institution. The preamble of India states that Indian government is based on the republic and democratic principle. All these things have been coming up with different particular case laws, and republic donates the head of the state, and that head of the state is elected by whom? We see we are in a democracy and there are election, and it is us who give the votes and we elect that republic, the head of the nation. And preamble and the constitution, they aims to secure the citizens, the equality of the state, opportunity of state affairs, all these things, employment. There should be no discrimination in your race, caste, each and everything have been there. And the 47th Amendment Act added the word socialist with this, that it's aimed to eliminate inequality of income via status and place, sex, caste. The word socialist was added in this particular thing because the definition of the they added the word in this particular preamble through the amendment. They have been seeing each and everything, and I will not go in very depth because it is not that required for you. It is good for a law student and an advocate as me. I intend to do, I speak when it is about the Constitution of India. So we'll move ahead now. Your fundamental rights, you will see starting, we have seen in unit number 1, we have seen under article number 12, the definition of state until 35. You have your fundamental rights, 6 broad categories that includes your right to equality from 14 to 18, freedom from 18 to 22, your exploitation 23 24, then you have freedom of religion 25 28. These 25 28 are article numbers. Then you have cultural and educational right and constitutional remedies under article 32, which are also known as the writs, that you can directly approach the Supreme Court when any of these things are hampered. If we cover this part, that fundamental rights, we have covered the broad categories, and constitutional remedies are in the form of writs. There are 5 writs. Later on in this lecture we will cover these 5 writs as well. If I talk about directive principle, so we have chapter of for a welfare state 36 to 51. 51A is your fundamental duties, and it is grouped into 3 things, that is your welfare, then it is the village cooperatives, cottage industry, and we have seen UCC now. Recently Assam UCC was there, so all these things are there. We also see historical financial realities, that at the time of independence in 1947, the young Indian state faced lack of resources. That's why fundamental rights and directive principle were separated. Directive principle was the future that we wanted, and that fundamental rights were at that time the requirement. That's why it has been written here, India state faced severe resource scarcity, trauma and economic undevelopment, making social mandates legally binding would have bankrupt the escape, because you will see right to so many things have been there in that particular DPSP, and the framers intended that the directive principle of state policies to be enforced by the public through regular democratic election. A failing government to act on these principles loses legitimacy in the eye of the voters. If I talk about fundamental rights that start with your for article number 12, which we have already seen in that particular first unit, then we move to the fundamental rights, then we move to directive principle of state policy, and then it is the duty that has been, it is our duty that has been mentioned in article number 51A, your part 4A. For part 4 is your DPSP, part 3 is your fundamental rights, and it was added in 42nd Amendment Act. There have been rights that have been given to you, and every the citizen of India should abide all these things. And if I move ahead, see part 3 versus part 4A, that is your fundamental rights and your fundamental duties. Your fundamental right is enforceable in court, but your fundamental duties are not. See, origin was from USA, it was from USSR. This particular thing has been asked many of time in your question paper, that our fundamental duties can be forcefully enforced on an Indian citizen. Can Indian citizen go to the Supreme Court directly if any of his or her fundamental rights was not available for him? So yes, all these type of question, and that's why I have distinct the two of these parts, and I also included directive principle of state policy, so that you will know that your fundamental rights, these rights, you can go in the court and ask a question that why I was deprived of this right, but no one can take you to the court that you didn't do your fundamental duties. So you need to know that. moving ahead, if I talk about the amendment article, I also mentioned it that yes, it is a growing thing. It is not a status thing, because whenever we move ahead, we need changes as we grow. And the amendment article, that is article number 368, made this, that constitution is flexible, it is not rigid. The Indian constitution strike the balances, not as flexible as the UK system, not as rigid as the US model. It was somewhere in the middle, that our framers wanted that yes, if things are needed to be changed from time to time, yes, we can change certain things, but also keeping in mind that the basic structure of the Indian constitution should not be amended. The whole, the reason behind why this constitution is so important, why it is needed, that particular base things, that basic structure things should never be amended. That's why I also tell you the three parts is simple majority, there is a process in this, then there is a special majority, and federal consciousness, or the step by step, through position by position, they talk over this particular matter, that do this particular thing need to be amended, something need to be added or not. All these are a process, a step by step, so you don't take a harsh decision and you don't take a wrong decision. And also the main important thing that you as a class 11 student that need to know and remember and write in your answer sheet is that your Constitution of India can be amended, but the basic structure cannot be amended. Revise this particular line, write this particular rise in your quoted, and it shows when your examiner will see this particular line, he will know that yes, you know the basics, you know the most important thing. And then you can also mention article number 368. See, we are talking about the basic structure, and parliament can amend any portion of the constitution under article 368, but it cannot alter, it cannot destroy, or it cannot touch the foundational core or your basic structure doctrine. It was from the Keshwanand Bharti case versus the state of Kerala. I have already mentioned these things in the earlier part of the video. See, me as an advocate sometimes gets too excited when I talk about Constitution of India, and yes, why not? You will be a law student, you are doing your legal studies, and might be possible 11th and 12th you develop this, that you like this particular subject and you want to wish to pursue your career in the law. The best profession, I will tell you, whether it is academics, where it is corporate litigation, you will find these things. And yes, this was your basic structure doctrine. And there is a adult suffrage. I have put Nehruji's photo in this also. See, enriched under Article 326 grants the right to vote every adult citizen above the age of 18 without any discrimination based on sex, race, caste or wealth. This bold democratic move broke deep-seated social hierarchy, empowering marginalized section and established a truly represent democracy. That's why I told you, it is us, we the people of India, who elect a particular head. It is us who has given that particular person the authority. And this particular image was when they were signing this thing. That's why I put it just to your article number 326 is equally important if it comes to your particular class 11 section. Single citizenship, another thing that unlike double citizenship, mentioned, you see USA and other nations, you will get this, but in India, if you need to be the citizen of India, you can only be the citizen of India, and none other individual is citizen first, regardless the domicile or the state of origin. And core democratic objective designed intentionally to overcome deep-seated. See, we were a diverse country. We will see so many castes, subdivided in castes, so many sections, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. We have seen in our national anthem also, there are so many things. And that's why see, it was designed intentionally to overcome deep-seated communal, regional and language divides that could split a multi-ethnic nation, because we were subdivided in many things. That was the beauty of India, that yes, we had so many people, and all these people come together and make India. If I move ahead, see independent judiciary, the most important part. We have seen separation of powers, judiciary is independent, and why judiciary needs to be independent, so can review be there. If something is going wrong, it must be addressed, it must be gone by. That's why I have written here, empowered to strike down central or state legislation that violates the fundamental rights. See, sovereign autonomy, judicial officers are insulated from executive inference via secure tenure and independent budget, and this unified pyramided a single system of court, Supreme Court at the top, the apex court, then followed by High Court in every state. Somewhere in state you will also see a main bench and a principal bench, and then you will see district court and then subdivided. So if I talk about the hierarchy, you will have magistrate first class, second class, then you have CJM, additional district judge, then you have high court judges, special court judges, then at the top most you have the Supreme Court of India. If I move further and I talk about the single citizenship has been covered, and now we will talk about the writs. There are 5 writs, either it is habeas corpus, mandamus, quo warranto, certiorari, and the last one, that is your prohibition. I mentioned 3 here, but there are 5 writs, and these writs, if you move to the High Court, you use article number 226, and if you move directly to the Supreme Court, you use article number 32. Your habeas corpus secures the liberty against unlawful unlawful detention. It asks the origin from letter ki who may have the body. And next, if we move to mandamus, it orders public officials to perform their legal duty. What command that we ask here. Then we have certiorari, it cautions the lower court's decision if they have done something wrong, so we ask by what authority. Then we have in certiorari to be more fully informed. Then we also use prohibition to forbid someone, and all these 5 writs are there for you, and you can move the courts, you can move the Supreme Court of India, and you can also move the High Court of India. If we move ahead, your emergency provision, again there are emergency, there are 3 type of emergency: national, presidential rule, and your financial emergency. And these are not that important, but if we see articles, see triggered by what, it is your national emergency, presidential rule, and your financial emergency, article number 360. If I talk about the structure of state, we have seen a federal state, it was there in our unit number 1. Autonomy, the features: a clear written constitution, a dual government apparatus, central and state, and independent judiciary to settle these disputes. Also unitary in spirit, enforce centralization structure, single citizenship, integrated judiciary, governs appointed by the state, and emergency overrides. Division of power, we have union list, state list, we have concurrent list. You will see all these things. Union list under article 246, state lists include 66 subject, concurrent 47 subject. All these things are there, and the key schedules overview which are important for your class 11. See, first schedule, it your territory jurisdiction, third is your oath and affirmation, eighth is your official language. This has been in the news, that's why I've included it. And 10th schedule, that is your anti-defamation law, that prevents the floor causing the optimistic thing. And this was your the basic features, and now we will start our administrative law. And in our administrative law, see, definition governs the power, procedure, statutory obligation of administration authority. It details legal boundaries for government agency and focus on the discipline, not focus on the strict structure but on exercise of the power. The key difference is your constitution law deals with the structural setup of governmental groups, and this admin law deals with the function. It distributes sovereign rights and safeguards, and it examines that are these action going on. We have seen constitution law, and with the Supreme Court, the statutory enactment, judges made law, the precedent that we talked about, all these things come under your admin law. If I move ahead, see, administrative law, quasi legislative, quasi judicial, purely admin, your day-to-day work based on your policy, rule making decision, delegated legislation where an executive body, the framers by law, have given a statutory duty. All these are the actions of an administrator. Your quasi judicial, you see the centralized administration, your tribunals, all these things are there in this. Rule of law, we have already seen that AV Dicey has given a rule of law, and there should be a supremacy of law, equality before law. There is a primacy of the spirit that right should be backed by the common law. All these three are the pillars, that there should be a supremacy of law, there should be no arbitrary things, detention, equality of law, whether it is a common man or judge's son, each and every one should be treated same, and rights backed by the common. And it is also, if I talk in the French, it was borrowed, it is known as Droit administrative there, and deals with citizen state dispute via separate tribunal headed by the consulate of aid, and not ordinary jurisdiction over executive action. If I further move to the next slide, which is that yes, all these things are important for you. And now I will talk about the things, that the questions that you guys will face. So if I talk about this, the rule of law, this is important for you. This rule of law will be asked in your question. If I talked about administrative actions, these actions are not there in your previous year papers, but still, if they need to make a small question, they can make on this particular thing. Key differences are the most important question. Also, admin law definition, how admin law is different from the constitution law, what is there in the constitution law and what is there in the admin law, these things can be asked from you. And if I talk about this schedule part, this is just the information part. If you mention it somewhere in the features that yes, there are schedules, and you write 2-3 schedule, it enhances your answer. And division of powers, we have already seen in that. And if you find unit number 1 question, you can also add these things in your final year paper. Then your structure, we have seen this also. Emergency, you need to remember these articles and writs, all the 5 writs, your habeas corpus, your mandamus, your quo warranto, your certiorari, and your prohibition. All these things need to be remembered. Plus one more thing, your part 3, that is your fundamental rights, part 4, that is your DPSP, and part 4A, that is your fundamental duties. All these things you need to remember, plus this particular thing, that is the right to vote. So these particular things will cover each and everything in your unit number 2, and your 15 marks are done with this particular video. And we will come up yet again with another thing, and the next unit is quite important. So just cover these 2 units, and in the next unit we'll come back again with one more video. I hope you like it, and if you need the notes, you can't download or you can't access through the link in the description box, just write your email ID in the comment section. Let me know if you need some portion of it in a detailed manner. I can make a sub part over this, or your first and second unit have been covered. You can tell me that you need a crips of both these units. I can do that also. And I hope you enjoyed the video. This is Advocate Harsh Chotrani. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe to our channel, share it with your other friends also, and we'll meet again with yet another video.